A female morgue attendant works alone at night and uncovers an evil spirit hiding inside a dead girl. The film opens by introducing a teenage girl named Hannah, who is strongly suspected of being possessed by an evil entity until her father, having run out of options, finally entrusts his daughter to a priest who also serves as an exorcist to perform a cleansing ritual. However, the attempt does not go as planned, as the force controlling Hannah's body turns out to be far stronger than expected, leaving the priest overwhelmed and nearly powerless.
Hannah? Hannah, I know you're in there. You have to fight.
She's mine forever.
In a moment of desperation and deep hopelessness, Hannah's father is forced to make the most painful decision of his life by ending his own daughter's life, suffocating her with a pillow, an act done not out of hatred but to end Hannah's suffering and prevent an even greater danger. Three months later, the story shifts to a woman named Megan, a former police officer who is still struggling with deep trauma after a tragic incident in which her fellow officer was killed right in front of her eyes. The event leads Megan to resign from the police force, leaving her unemployed and facing growing financial difficulties. In the middle of this difficult situation, her close friend Lisa, a nurse at a private hospital, offers Megan an unusual job that few people are willing to take, working as a night shift morgue attendant, meaning Megan must work alone while most people are asleep. Thanks to her background in law enforcement, Megan is officially hired, although a senior male doctor warns her beforehand about the strong odors that take time to get used to, and the fact that many previous candidates quit after suffering panic attacks, since the morgue is considered one of the most terrifying places in the hospital. Upon arriving at her workplace, Megan is given a detailed explanation of several important things, including motion sensor lighting systems, manually operated lights, restricted access doors that require employee cards, a rarely used and dim cremation room, and the delivery area where new bodies usually arrive. She is also informed that every body must be documented for administrative purposes, including photographs and fingerprints before being placed into refrigerated storage, which for now is her main responsibility.
We've had 3 overnight intake assistants in the last 6 months.
Hearing things go bump in the night.
Most of the lights are on the sensor. The rest you have to switch on manually.
The smell. You never get used to the smell.
You can't get in or out without swiping this card. Down there to the left is the incinerator room for cremation. There's lots of files that need to be entered into the system. First, you take an overview of the body. This doohickey sends the prints to a crime database. This intake bay is for drop-offs only. Shift starts tomorrow night at 11, goes to 7 in the morning.
On her first night on duty, Megan meets 2 security guards, Dave and Ernie, who welcome her warmly and introduce her to the hospital environment.
Welcome to the graveyard shift. I'm Dave.
Megan.
Nice to meet you.
Not long after, Megan receives a new body and begins following the work procedures she was taught earlier.
Here he is, but I'm Megan. Jed's the way I like him. Scanning.
Dave, who turns out to be mischievous, startles Megan as a joke, irritating her, but she chooses to ignore it once Dave returns to his post, leaving Megan alone in the morgue until she suddenly sees a man standing in the middle of the hallway. The disturbing sight later turns out to be nothing more than a hallucination, a lingering effect of the trauma Megan has carried since her last days as a police officer. The next morning, Megan wakes up feeling exhausted after barely sleeping through the night. And later that day, she is visited by her former boyfriend, Andrew, who once served alongside her in the police force. Andrew comes to collect a few personal belongings he left behind, but the visit quickly turns into a serious conversation when he begins questioning Megan's decision to take a new job as a morgue attendant, suggesting it may not be a wise choice, especially considering Megan's fragile mental state after her past trauma. He worries the job could worsen Megan's psychological condition, but all his concerns fade when Megan honestly admits that she is struggling financially and truly needs the work.
Just, need the rest of my stuff.
Started a new job last night, so when a job opened up at the morgue, she thought of me.
You sure that's a good idea?
I should go.
That night, Megan is already back at the hospital, passing time by tossing a rubber ball to herself while waiting for another body to arrive, until the bell suddenly rings, signaling a new delivery. Megan heads to the receiving area, where she is startled by a strange man who claims to be a hospital employee who forgot his keys inside and asks Megan to open the door for him. Sensing something is wrong, Megan refuses and instead calls security to escort the man away. Shortly afterward, an ambulance arrives with a new body, and the delivery worker, John, asks Megan to help carry it into the morgue. Unnoticed by Megan, the mysterious man quietly takes advantage of the situation and sneaks inside the morgue for reasons unknown. Once the body is placed on the examination table, Megan is left speechless by the horrifying condition of the teenage girl, whose body appears badly damaged, with much of her skin burned and several deep cuts visible. Disturbed by the cruelty inflicted on the victim, Megan silently wonders what kind of person could do something so brutal before telling John to leave so she can handle the documentation alone. As Megan begins the administrative process, a technical malfunction suddenly occurs. The spotlight shuts off and the computer crashes, forcing her to place the body into cold storage while waiting for the system to restart. Moments later, even stranger things happen when the table suddenly begins to shake and several items fall on their own, though Megan tries to calm herself and dismiss everything as coincidence. While cleaning her hand after cutting herself on broken glass, Megan freezes as the storage drawer containing the girl's body suddenly opens by itself. These disturbing events push Megan to investigate the victim's identity, and through the fingerprints she had taken earlier, she discovers that the body belongs to Hannah, the same girl who was once possessed and killed by her own father at the beginning of the story. Megan also notices another unsettling detail. Hannah's eye color has turned blue, clearly different from what is listed on her ID card. The return of Megan's old fears and trauma causes her to briefly hallucinate, seeing insects crawling out of Hannah's body, but after forcing herself to stay calm and ignore it, she returns to her post. Not long after, strange noises echo from the storage area, and Megan is shocked to find that Hannah's body has disappeared. It soon becomes clear that this is the work of the same stranger from earlier, who is later revealed to be Hannah's biological father, the man who once ended his daughter's life. He drags Hannah's body toward the cremation room, intending to burn it, but Megan manages to stop him just as Dave and Ernie arrive and restrain the man, handing him over to the police.
Stop! Put the body down. I've already called security.
Megan! Please! Listen to me! You gotta destroy her body. Get him up! She's not dead!
After things settle down, Megan is forced to continue working alone among the corpses, until she once again witnesses something deeply unnatural when Hannah's body suddenly shifts position and appears to breathe. Shortly afterward, Lisa comes to check on Megan after hearing that her friend had been attacked by a stranger. Lisa suggests that Megan go home and let someone else replace her, worried that her friend's mental condition might continue to deteriorate. But Megan stubbornly refuses because she does not want to appear weak or be seen as irresponsible at work, even though all the strange events of that night continue to haunt her. When Megan tells Lisa that Hannah's body appeared to be breathing, Lisa does not believe her at all and assumes Megan is simply hallucinating due to her past trauma. To calm her down, Lisa invites Megan to eat at the cafeteria while Dave stays behind to watch the morgue.
I heard a corpse breathe. Are you hungry? I can get us some takeout from the cafeteria.
I can cover down here if you want.
Yeah, okay.
After eating, Megan is surprised when Andrew arrives at the hospital after hearing about the earlier attack. Since Megan truly needs his help, she asks Andrew to check Hannah's fingerprints through police records, believing the victim's ID is fake because the eye color on record does not match the body. At the same time, Dave is seen alone in the morgue, passing time by tossing Megan's rubber ball into the dark hallway until he notices a motion sensor light turning on inside the storage area, even though it should not activate unless something is moving. Driven by curiosity, Dave goes inside to investigate, unaware that this decision will cost him his life, as he is attacked there by Hannah's body now, once again controlled by the evil force. Meanwhile, Megan finishes talking with Andrew and returns to her post only to find that Dave is gone. Megan assumes Dave is on patrol or has moved to another post, so she does not think much of it and feels no suspicion at all. Feeling uncomfortable in her stomach, Megan heads to the restroom when suddenly her rubber ball rolls inside. As Megan tries to retrieve it, a mysterious figure suddenly snatches the ball away, making her increasingly uneasy. Not long after, Andrew calls Megan with the results of his search, confirming that Hannah was officially declared dead 3 months ago. This leaves Megan deeply confused because logically it makes no sense for Hannah's body to still be intact without any signs of decomposition. Driven by curiosity, Megan checks the CCTV footage and is shocked to see a dark shadow captured on camera. Megan immediately calls Lisa to show her what she found, while also repeating the last words of the old man who attacked her, saying that Hannah is not truly dead and must be burned before bringing disaster. However, Lisa still believes Megan is hallucinating and refuses to accept any of it, choosing instead to smoke on the stairwell leading to the upper floors of the hospital. Unaware of the danger, Hannah suddenly appears, causing Lisa to panic and run up to the rooftop where she meets a tragic fate and becomes Hannah's second victim. Meanwhile, Megan encounters John again, the delivery worker who arrives with another body. Megan uses the opportunity to show John Hannah's condition, which now looks increasingly impossible as the burn marks and deep cuts that once covered her body slowly fade away, as if Hannah is healing herself. John, unaware of Hannah's original condition, doubts Megan's claims and believes she is under too much stress, advising her to stay calm and maintain her mental stability. After saying goodbye, John leaves the hospital, but Megan casually checks the CCTV and notices a pair of legs entering the elevator, seemingly following John's direction. Shortly afterward, John's car suddenly stops as if it has run over something, but when he checks underneath, there is nothing there. Instead of leaving immediately, John walks into the darkness to investigate strange sounds, only to be attacked by Hannah, making him the third victim.
If you ever want to talk, I'm the guy.
Thank you.
Hello?
Megan realizes the danger too late and finds only John's empty parked car, prompting her to call Andrew and ask him to come to the hospital immediately. But the situation worsens when Hannah's father suddenly reappears after overpowering two police officers who were escorting him, determined to stop everything before it is truly too late. After witnessing so many strange events that can no longer be explained by logic, Megan finally opens her mind and agrees to fully listen to Hannah's father. He explains that before all these tragedies happened, Hannah had been suffering from prolonged depression caused by emotional pressure and deep heartbreak, and it was this fragile mental state that created an opening for the dark force to take over her consciousness. According to her father, the entity did not merely influence Hannah's mind, but completely possessed her body, turning her into something that was no longer herself. Realizing that the situation is far beyond control, Megan agrees to work together with Hannah's father to end everything by burning Hannah's body in the cremation room, believing that this is the only way to stop the evil influence. Strangely, throughout the series of terrifying events, Megan herself is never directly targeted, while the people around her fall victim one by one. Whatever the reason behind it, Hannah's father refuses to take any further risks and only hopes that no more lives will be lost. However, the plan does not go smoothly, because before Hannah's body can be placed into the fire, she suddenly rises and attacks Megan, choking her until she nearly loses consciousness. Hannah's father desperately tries to save Megan, but his effort ends tragically when he becomes Hannah's next victim.
The only way to destroy this thing is to burn her.
Megan runs back to her post hoping to hide and gather herself, but the sense of safety lasts only briefly when she sees Hannah crawling along the wall with unnatural movements, a horrifying sight that causes Megan to pass out. She is then dragged into a morgue drawer. At the same time, Andrew finally arrives at the hospital and unexpectedly runs into Ernie, who has also come to check the situation after losing contact with his co-workers. Megan regains consciousness, forces open the drawer in panic, and reunites with Andrew and Ernie in the room. The tension reaches its peak when they finally witness Hannah crawling on the wall with her own eyes, proving that everything Megan has been saying is not a hallucination. But this truth comes at a heavy price when Ernie becomes the next victim in the chaos. As the number of victims increases, Hannah's body appears fully restored and stronger than ever, even lifting Andrew into the air. Seeing Andrew in danger and exhausted from being constantly terrorized, Megan grabs Andrew's gun and fires several shots at Hannah until she collapses motionless. Believing this is her last chance, Megan tells Andrew to leave first so he will not be caught in further danger, while she stays behind to finish what Hannah's father started by burning Hannah's body in the cremation room. Just as Megan nearly succeeds, Hannah shows one final reaction, as if whispering something before her body is finally consumed by fire. Shortly afterward, Andrew arrives with the authorities to secure the scene, while Megan is seen sitting alone, quietly tossing her rubber ball with an expression far calmer than before. A few days after the horrific incident, Megan resumes her life as usual. Her trauma slowly fades. She begins maintaining a healthier lifestyle, exercising regularly, eating properly, and appearing more energetic in her daily routine. But behind all these positive changes lies a far more terrifying truth, because Megan is no longer the same Megan from the beginning of the story. Without anyone realizing it, the evil force that once inhabited Hannah has transferred itself and fully taken control of Megan's mind, preparing to continue its mission of spreading destruction and chaos into the outside world, and the story comes to an end.